Ladies and gentlemen, may I please have your attention? Please have your tickets in hand before you board the plane. Thank you.
Hello and welcome. I'm Johan Castell and you're watching a special episode of Wings brought to you from SATTE here at Yashibumi in New Delhi. This is South Asia's leading travel and tourism exchange. We spent 3 days covering this industry mega event in New Delhi. Now in its 33rd edition, this is, in our experience, the biggest and most impressive yet.
What we aim by doing SATTE year on year is that showcase India as a base, but promote South Asia as a big destination across the world. And I think clearly, what we want to showcase is how India as a country is really booming in terms of travel. This show has every element from outbound, inbound to domestic. I think every element is covered over here, right from support from the Ministry of Tourism, which is our leading partner for the show, who's a promoting partner, along with 28 states which come into the show, and also over 60 destinations from across the world who are promoting this.
We are celebrating 33 years of the show, and the entire conceptualization of the show was to promote South Asia as a holistic destination to the world in large. I think India encompasses everything what a traveler wishes to experience. But alongside that, we have countries like Nepal, Sri Lanka, Maldives, which create a different experience. So while a traveler is coming into India, so how we can package a longer holiday within the entire region. So that's what the that's what the crux for SATTE is.
One of the highlights of the event was the strong focus on state tourism.
Your latest campaign, that is Beyond Myths and Mountains. Tell us, what is this all about? What all is in store? You're driving this shift away from mountains and monasteries. Tell us what's in store and how are you looking to market it to a global audience?
See, Arunachal, we have been, branding ourselves in a very, generic way, in very trying to put all things together. So we thought, we must be more specific about how we brand ourselves and how we showcase ourselves to the world. So we thought, we must do a new campaign and a new look for the brand, like putting in fresh breath. So that's how the whole idea came about, the new logo and the new tagline, the Beyond Myths and Mountains. If you see the logo, so the letter Arunachal is very, very loud, so that people know that that is all about Arunachal. And the red is that circle, the semicircle, it shows the rising sun, because we all know that Arunachal is known as the land of the rising sun. And the blue that streaks shows the mountain and the river. So that we're trying to encompass the whole character of Arunachal in the logo and in the tagline saying Beyond Myths and Mountains, because people know Arunachal as a mountainous state, and there are a lot of myths accompanied with that. But we tell them it's much more than the mountains and myths which you think about. So you must come and explore Arunachal Pradesh.
Jammu and Kashmir also made a strong pitch to revive tourism under the Kashmir Chalo campaign, a much-needed boost for the tourism industry in Kashmir after last year's Pahalgam attack.
For tourism to really become an important part of J&K's economy, it has to spread to areas that were hitherto untouched by tourism.
Yeah.
And we have to do it in a very careful and a sustainable way. And that's why we're talking about developing 9 new greenfield destinations across Jammu and Kashmir to take advantage of the beauty and the natural affinity that people have to visit Jammu and Kashmir. A resurgence or a strengthening of our tourism allows us to strengthen employment opportunities in otherwise rather difficult areas. Some of the areas I named, you would not see any other investment except investment into tourism.
One impressive exhibition was held by the Union Territory of Ladakh. Here, a traditional musical performance was showcased in traditional attire.
How excited are you for the tourism in Ladakh in 2026? Do you want people to come and explore Ladakh?
For every tourist traveling to Ladakh, my advice is to truly immerse yourself. Try our special cuisine, meet the people, experience our community gatherings and way of life firsthand. There are so many beautiful ancient monasteries here worth visiting, along with historical sites that reflect our deep-rooted culture. These are experiences you really shouldn't miss.
Perhaps its most important aspect, SATTE was about providing the industry with a platform to connect and create partnerships.
Are international tourism boards specifically calibrating strategies for Indian travelers, looking at how tourism is evolving in the country?
What's very important about your question is how they're working together, and that's what's really critical. The tourism boards are no longer standalone. They're creating partnerships, country to country, state to state, city to city, and that's allowing much stronger tourism flows and creating ways of, again, getting the accessibility, getting the visa policies in place. So this is where an event like this is important, to create those partnerships for smart tourism development that is efficient, because ultimately tourism is about the tourism economy, not only the tourism attraction, and you need to keep that moving all year round.
Actually, we are here not only to promote Egypt Air as airline, we come here to promote Egypt as a destination for Indian market. Egypt and India have a very deep historical ties, and now our mutual and bilateral relations on the top. So we are here for the 30 consecutive years to promote Egypt as a destination and to promote Egypt Air as the flag carrier of Egypt.
Visiting SATTE from I think 2 decades now. So every year, whenever I'm coming, finding new things, new opportunities, meeting new people, and I have a good business flow for the entire year. That's my reason coming to SATTE. I always enjoy coming here.
Gold leaf and dry flower.
Oh, this is like when you go to the Buddhist temple in Thailand. You get the gold leaf. Yeah.
Last year we got about 2.4 million Indian people to Thailand, and this year we hope in 2026 we hope 2.5 million Indian people to Thailand. That means it's increased about 16% from last year too.
WION is here at SATTE 2026. We are here at the Sri Lanka booth right now, and it looks like the opening ceremony for the Expo so far for this exhibitor. We can see a group of decorated individuals full in traditional attire.
With the last year tourist numbers, that India recorded as the highest number of tourists arrival to Sri Lanka. So India is the main tourist source to the Sri Lanka. So that's why we get this kind of huge stall here, because we need to give more aware about the Sri Lanka among the Indian tourists. So I think this year, so we are planning to double the Indian tourist numbers.
So we are here with Tenzin from the Bhutan stall. Tenzin, what is the USP of Bhutan? Why should people visit in 2026?
The people in Bhutan always believe in national happiness under the great leadership of our king. So that's some reason that we have different cultures and very unique cultures. Even to the monuments, these things are something like untouched from the 7th centuries, 6th centuries, and also our king is always the well-being of the people of this nation. So that's why I think people should come in Bhutan to experience the culture and then also enjoy the carbon negative atmosphere in the country.
Speaking of unique things, I'm noticing that you have a little display here with some kind of snacks. It looks to me like something I've never seen before. Is it perhaps homemade cornflakes, or what type of snacks are these?
Thank you, sir. This is actually is a homemade cornflakes, but it is a roasted and then hand-beaten corn, and it has a sugar-free. And usually in my country, in the morning it's a very cold country sometimes in the winter, so people drink a lot of butter tea, yak butter tea. So it goes together with the tea in the mornings.
That's a good thing to have on the display, representing the country. Thank you so much for your inputs. Can I try one piece? Yeah.
I want it for you all, sir. How is it?
Ooh, it's very crunchy. Very unique experience. This is only a taste of what's to come if you visit Bhutan in 2026.
It's been a pretty massive program, and we've seen a big attendance over here. I think maybe about 40-50 hotel chains are coming over here. And we also have about 12 international, stands. So the hotel industry and the tourism industry, they're quite close to each other. They're correlated, and they work together. And we've seen good response as such.
As SATTE 2026 drew to a close, it is clear that the new connections and partnerships forged at the exhibition will take the travel and tourism trade into the future, one that is advancing rapidly for this industry in India. India is the second biggest sourcing market for tourists to Malaysia. They now have a very ambitious plan from Malaysia to attract 35% more Indian visitors in 2026. In order to achieve this, they've launched a big campaign to draw in more visitors. Let's take a look at one of their events in New Delhi to see what their strategy is. As the tourism industry continues to boom in 2026, Malaysia is redefining its sector. Tourism Malaysia brought together travel trade partners, wedding planners, MICE operators and media, all under one roof in New Delhi. The aim? To attract more Indian visitors under the Visit Malaysia Year 2026 campaign. Last year, Malaysia welcomed over 42 million international visitors, showing a 14.6% growth over the previous year. India accounted for over 1.6 million arrivals, reaffirming its rank as a dynamic, high-potential market.
India is one of our main tourist arrivals to Malaysia. So last year we received about 1.5 million visitors, Indian visitors to Malaysia, and that is largely because we have a visa-free policy right now. So we are hoping to attract more and more Indian tourists coming into Malaysia and explore Malaysia.
A panel discussion followed focusing on air connectivity, visa facilitation and emerging segments such as weddings, luxury travel and MICE. With over 240 weekly flights between India and Malaysia and continued visa-free entry for Indian nationals, accessibility remains one of Malaysia's strongest advantages.
I think for the Indian market, yes, they are still earlier when we came to the market. They still want to focus for the city, shopping, entertainment. So these three elements, again, the family, theme park and so on, which is confined to our main cities like Kuala Lumpur, Penang, and certain extent to Johor Bahru. And these are the three main cities where cater pre-COVID for the Indian audience. Because during that time, the Indian audience would like to travel in a family and in a group. So those group movement become lesser and lesser post-COVID. And we see more FIT group, FIT tourists traveling on the independently, and they wanted to explore the country. So it is a good opportunity for us as well to showcase the other orbit destinations in Malaysia. We do have more than 150 million years old of our national park. You know, we do have a camping sites, we have a fishing area, and you can adventure the jungle. You know, they have a proper tour guides, night tour, and so on.
What can you tell us about the upcoming UPI integration with Malaysia?
Yes, you know, in today's world, everyone wants to travel with cashless. You know, they doesn't want to carry cash, either have to change traveler's checks and so on. So in the case of EPI, I think there was some kind of collaborations, memorandum has been signed between both government, and it's just a matter of time whereby this can be materialized so that the payment can be done in their own currencies.
We've heard that when visitors from India come to Malaysia, they can take a road trip. They have access to using your vehicles and your roads without any international driving license.
The surprising part of it, the Indian driving license isn't acceptable. It's approved in Malaysia. You're laughing at it. It is part of it where you can drive. If you're not on the longer stay, so for the short stays, the Indian driving license is accepted for you to drive.
Traffic slows down as it's passing one market unlike any other in Asia. This is the iconic EP120, the women's market of Manipur. Let's step inside and take a look.
EP120, also known as the Mother's Market in Imphal, is regarded as the largest all-women market in Asia and is believed to be the only one of its kind in the world. Around 3,000 emas, or mothers, run the stalls here. The market is divided into two main sections on either side of the road. On one side, vendors sell vegetables, seasonal fruits, fresh fish, rice, spices, and daily household groceries. On the other hand, shoppers find finely woven handloom textiles and shawls, as well as household tools and locally crafted items. What makes the market truly distinct is its rule. Men are not allowed to trade here. Male vendors and shopkeepers are barred. In fact, in 2018, the state government announced that legal action would be taken under the Manipur Municipalities Act 2004 if any male vendor was found selling goods in the market. This is and remains women's economic space. The origins of EP120 are deeply tied to Manipur's social history. The market traces its beginnings to Lalap Kaba, an ancient bonded labor system under which Meitei men were required to serve compulsorily in the military and on civil projects. With men frequently away from home, women were left to manage households and livelihoods. Out of necessity, they developed a structured market system, one that gradually evolved into what is today known as EP120.
It's for all the communities. Market is not only for Meitei, only for Naga, only for Takul. It's for all the communities. That is, every community from each and every corner from every corner of Manipur bring their products to this market and they sell here.
Today, even as Manipur navigates ethnic tensions and social strain, vendors insist that the market continues to reflect unity. For them, identity takes a backseat to shared livelihood. For many, a stall here is not rented space, it is legacy.
Still here, they bring their local products here and we are living like families in this market.
Stories like hers are common. Vendors often say that this market has financed children's education, helping produce doctors, officers, and professionals across the state. However, the present reality is challenging. Vendors say that earlier, sections were clearly organized, with fish sellers grouped and dairy vendors in another area. Today, that system appears less structured. More importantly, business has slowed. Transport disruptions and highway blockades have raised logistics costs. EP120 is not just rows of stalls, it is a centuries-old system, born out of necessity, sustained through resistance, and protected through solidarity. As Manipur seeks stability and healing, these 3,000 mothers continue to open their stalls every morning, preserving not just trade, but tradition, unity, and economic independence.
People gather in Russia to bid farewell to winter in a festive way. Let's see how they celebrate Maslenitsa in Moscow.
Hundreds of people gathered at the Gorky-Leninsky Museum Reserve near Moscow to celebrate Maslenitsa. This traditional festival marks the end of the freezing winter and the arrival of spring. Also known as Butter Week or Pancake Week, Maslenitsa is an Orthodox Christian tradition celebrated in Russia, Belarus, and Ukraine at the end of the winter season. This year's festivities ran from February 16 to 22 and drew thousands of visitors. The celebration featured equestrian performances, delicious historical pancakes, and a 5-story tall scarecrow, said to be the tallest Maslenitsa effigy in Russia.
In China, it's not called New Year, but Spring Festival. Maslenitsa for us is also a way of saying goodbye to winter and welcoming spring. So there's a connection, and this year they just happened to fall at the same time.
The festival also reflects the history and heritage of the country. Horsemen from a Russian Hussar cavalry school recreated traditional training and competitions, showcasing the culture's roots with equestrian sports.
We have a very interesting task to show history and connect it with Maslenitsa. That's why we have 2 teams. One way or another, we show how horsemen of that time were trained, and there's a connection between the competitions of the Grodno Hussars and the Noble Squadron. We are spring and we will conquer winter. What else can we do?
When we talk about Maslenitsa and pancakes, the main symbol of the sun can't go unmentioned. Several stalls served pancakes with cranberry, raspberry, and sea buckthorn jam, along with sour cream, honey, and caviar. People were seen wearing traditional attire, enjoying pancakes and caviar. For the native people of Russia, the festival is a medium to connect with their roots and celebrate their identity.
This is becoming a good tradition. We want to maintain our culture and remind people that this is our genes, our blood, our ancestry.
As the day drew to a close, the highlight of the festival took center stage. A bonfire was lit as the 17-meter-tall giant effigy, a complex structure built over weeks by several craftsmen, was set ablaze. The bonfire is a symbol of the end of a long, harsh winter and of welcoming the season of renewal. From horseback performances to the blaze of a giant bonfire, Maslenitsa provided a stage to celebrate the Russian culture and tradition. With delicious food and festive joy, Russia bid farewell to the cold season and welcomed spring with warmth.
That's all we have for you on the show in this week's episode of Wings, but we'll return next weekend with more travel content for you. Until then, it's me, Johan Castell, signing off. Goodbye.